totally ruined my intro. So, look, I had no idea what to talk about for my dad's 90th birthday. So, about a week and a after, I call up Larry. I'm like, Larry, what are you going to say? He's like, 30 seconds, welcome everybody. That's all I'm going to say. I call up Lynn. She says, well, I'm going to talk about 1929, the year Dad was born. A lot of historic stuff happened that year. I said, I should have thought of that. That's a great idea. I guess now I can do it. But I've done no research on it. So I said, you know what? If you're going to do 1929, I'm going to do August 23rd, because that's his actual birthday. So I sit down to my computer, and I get on Wikipedia, of course, and I search up August 23rd, and I'm scrolling down at all these current events that happened on that day. And I'm like, nothing. And I finally hit a big one in 1904. Does anybody know what happened in 1904 on August 23rd?
Not sure.
The automobile tire chain was patented on that day. That's the most exciting thing that's ever happened on August 23rd. So I then looked at who were the famous people who were born on that day. And there were a couple. There's, Gene Kelly, famous dancer, Singing in the Rain. Tyler, Kobe Bryant.
Oh, yeah.
Black Mamba, White Mamba right here, right? August 23rd. Kevin, you've got Bears superstar legend quarterback Rex Grossman. Kevin, I know you're a potbelly guy and you're kind of a ladies' man, but I guess you like older women. Subway spokesperson Jared Fogle is also. I guess he likes them a little different. So I sort of took that when I said that's probably not a good path to go down. Some of you were here when Dad turned 80, and I kind of did a comedic run through of his life. All the funny things Dad has done, like the time he made Larry cry in the River Oaks parking lot the first time Larry ever drove. Dad showed such patience and understanding, and he was so empathetic, and Larry was in a pool of tears in like 3 minutes. Then, the way after on Sundays when he'd eat his sunny side up eggs, and he'd take his cigarette and he'd put it out in the list. Ginger was horrified. It's on videotape. He audibly gasped last time I said that. But the conclusion I came to is that 80 and 90 are they're two different ages, right? When someone's 80, not a big deal. I mean, half the Democrats running for president are 80 years old. Lynn's almost 80 years old. Not quite. 90 is, as Joe Biden said, a big blanking deal, right? So when a man turns 90, it's time for respect, and reverence, and no humor. Time to be very serious. So, Dad, I want to thank you for 5 things you've done. 5 very important things. And I'm going to go through them. Number 1. And I'm going to touch a little bit on, you're going to kind of see Lynn's last theme about learning in some of this, right? Thank you for teaching me how to speak properly. Okay, now he's like, okay, whatever. Now, I'm going to get some audience participation here to prove my point. Yasmin, I'm going to pick on you, right? All you have to do is say one word, though. That's all you have to do. Now, you grew up in the city.
Yeah.
You live in the same neighborhood you grew up in. How do you say the name of the city you live in?
Oh, it's that question.
It's that question. How do you say it?
How I say it?
Just say it off the top of your head.
Chicago. However,
Chicago.
there are others who say Chicago.
Well, I know. Well, hold on. I know.
Chicago.
Don't lead the witnesses. Come on. Linda,
Yes.
I'm going to pick on you next. South Side girl, now North Side girl.
No,
How do you
now middle girl.
Middle girl. What do you mean middle? You're downtown.
River North.
River North. Okay, very good. Sort of north, though. How do you say the name of that city?
Chicago.
Chicago. Okay. Ginger.
Chicago.
Chicago. Okay. Dad, tell them the right way to say it. Chicago. All right. See, you're all going to learn here. Lifelong learning. Chicago. Don't say it the wrong way. Okay. The second thing I want to thank you for is teaching me some very important stuff, some very important things. Now, when Sherwin Chapman's your father, you don't learn how to fire a rifle or put bait on a fishing line or rebuild a carburetor or swing a golf club or tie a knot or any of that stuff. But you learn a ton of really important stuff that nobody else seems to know. Okay? So I'm going to do a little bit of a quiz here. You can't answer because you're going to know all this stuff. And I just want to show of hands who knows, and if you know, you can actually give the answer, right? But you thought you were coming here for dinner and drinks. You're going to learn something today. Okay, the first one is, who knows what the Gadsden Purchase is?
Gadsden Purchase.
Lynn, you should know your damn project in 6th grade.
The Louisiana.
Everyone knows that one. The Gadsden Purchase. You know the answer. Dad, what's the Gadsden purchase? Do you remember?
I believe it's the purchase of part of Florida.
No.
Or is it Arizona?
Yes, Arizona, New Mexico, 1854. We took it over from the Mexicans. The wall's a little shorter now because of it. Anyway, the Gadsden purchase. Okay. Who was the only Chicago mayor to be assassinated? You can't answer.
Sherman.
Very good. Look at that. See, so,
Who?
Anton Cermak. He was standing next to Roosevelt. The guy tried to kill Roosevelt. He hit Cermak. Dead. Okay. Okay, a little sports. Baseball trivia. Any Cubs fans in here? Cubs fans. Okay. Any Cubs fans during World War II? Probably not. Who was the Cubs' leading home run hitter during the years of World War II?
I know.
Well, you can't answer. No.
Not Andy Pasco?
Nope. Who is it?
Nicholson.
Bill Swish Nicholson. I don't know why they call him Swish, but Bill Swish Nicholson. All right. Okay, you can't answer. I know you still know this. What year did Chicago hit its peak population? What census year, right? Census is like every 10 years, 1940, 30, 20. And what was that population within 100,000, right? What year?
1880.
1880. No. Wrong.
1960.
Close.
1970.
You're heading in the wrong direction.
1950.
Yes.
Yes.
What was the population?
1950.
What was the population?
3,600,000.
3.62 million. And he was one of them. So was she. Okay. Who here can tell me what the 5 quint cities are?
The 5 what?
Quint cities. Quint. Not quint.
Quint.
Moline.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Clinton.
I don't know, Davenport? No.
Yes.
Oh, I don't even live here anymore.
East Moline and Bettendorf was thrown in there for a while. You taught me that. Come on, you're forgetting.
The 5 what?
So Sherwin Chapman teaches you a bunch of, it's like Cliff Clavin on Cheers, if you ever watch that. He teaches you a bunch of silly, like really important stuff. Knowledge. This man.
Now your son knows all this stuff.
Now, he does know a lot of it. He knows a lot of garbage. Now, I also want to thank you for making great technology available to me when I was young. Great technology. Now, has anybody here read the book Outliers? Right, you guys read it. We talked. Tyler's reading it right now. This is a Malcolm Gladwell book. There's a section in the book where he talks about Bill Gates when he's like 13 years old in 1968, and he had access to a computer lab near him where he could do sort of computer programming without using punch cards, which I guess in 1968 was just an amazing thing. And he talks about Steve Jobs having access and this other famous like tech guy named Bill Joy, and all of that made them, you know, sort of tech moguls and billionaires and very influential people. Well, I had similar access. In the basement of my house at Homewood, most people had color television, nice console color televisions. I had a 1964 Zenith television, black and white, that either the vertical or the horizontal hole never worked. So I had to spend a lot of time tweaking that thing to make it work just perfectly.
Was there a remote?
No remote? No, of course not.
That was in
Come
your
on.
last speech.
What's that?
That was in your last speech.
I didn't talk about that.
Yes, you did.
Well, good memory, Lynn. Good memory. Thanks for reminding the crowd. I have World Book Encyclopedia. That's not technology, though. That's the education.
When I moved into my first apartment in 1982, I didn't know what a remote was, and my roommate was using a remote. It's like, what's wrong with this TV?
Chauncey Gardner. So like the Chapmans were like, you know, we had the dial phones, boom, boom, boom. And then big deal in 1980, I could have been the next Elon Musk. Dad bought the Chevy Citation, right? Which was so it made a lot of great technology available to me. I didn't end up a tech mogul for some reason with all that. Okay, this is a really big one. And people are going to say you had nothing to do with this. I want to thank you for having the name Sherwin. Eric, do me a favor. Can you just say the name Sherwin?
Sherwin.
Look how happy he looks. It's just one of those names that makes you happy to say. Ryan, what's the first syllable of Sherwin?
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
Confidence. Kevin, what's the second syllable?
Win.
I'm sure I'm going to win. Now, I don't know how, but for some reason when I was a little kid, everybody thought that name was funny. I don't know why. Sherwin. Your dad's name is Sherwin. But I'll tell you, If I was ever in a situation where I couldn't make friends on the playground, I'd just walk up to people, hey, guess what my dad's name is? Sherwin. Hey, let's hang out. Sherwin. Beautiful. All right.
Because my name is Sherwin.
Exactly. Donald, thank you. All right, the last thing I want to thank you for, and Lynn, this is a bit of a retread from last time, is for marrying Gertrude Weber. Thank you for marrying Gertrude Weber. You know, people talk about Florence Henderson being the best 70s mom, or who was the other one on the Partridge Family? Shirley Jones. Now, I know there's a lot of great 70s moms here, but Gert Chapman to me was the greatest 70s mom. And I could tell many stories, but the one I want to tell is that every day at lunch, I had a Hostess Ho-Ho, Twinkie, Ding Dong, or Cupcake in my and then after dinner, I had a nice Hershey bar. So she made a lot of dentists wealthy in the South Suburbs. But so that's the really sort of serious part of the presentation, Dad. Look, I just want to thank you. You've been a wonderful father. I think, as Lynn said, you've been great in terms of making us really, I think,
Brainy.
sort of brainy in sort of a stupid way, but sort of knowledge seeking. I mean, he's telling me about Ulysses S. Grant's like the best president ever because he just read some book. Who knew? So he's always learning, he's always reading. I know a lot of crazy stuff because he's my father. I think that the second thing is, you know, Lynn said he's a great storyteller. I actually think of him as more of a great listener and questioner. I mean, he's always one of these people that he's like, you know, loves to ask people questions, and I just love that characteristic of him. He's not like a guy who likes to brag and talk about himself. He's somebody who likes to, you know, learn about you, which I guess in a way is like a selfish trait. I want to learn from people, but it's just, I think, a really good trait he has. And then, you know, the final thing is, he's just kind of Mr. Consistency, right? That's 290 with 25 home runs. When I was growing up, every day, and he'd leave before I woke up, and then he'd get home at 4:30, he'd pull the car in the driveway, and then he'd go and he'd read his daily news and smoke his cigarette, and you know, that was it. I mean, it was just
Common Joe.
consistent Sherwin. So, Dad, I love you.
Yeah.
Thank you for quitting smoking in 1986 because, you know, I wouldn't be here if you hadn't done that. But that's it. Thank you, Sherwin. Did you know?
I know.